Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. Your data is very important. And I'm not talking about the programs or applications you've installed, because you can always go back and reinstall them. Well, can't say always. Usually, you can go back and reinstall them. But the data that you create within those applications usually lives separate. It doesn't live inside the application itself. You know, it's sitting somewhere, either on the same hard drive or potentially on another hard drive or a solid-state disk, or maybe it lives somewhere in the cloud. And Sherman, who, does a lot of tech support for people, is constantly asked, just like I am, what's the best backup? His response is much like mine. Well, it depends. Better and best is always relative. Well, is best for you something that, were you getting ready to write it down until I said that?
No.
Okay. I was watching my dad back there, was probably very curious about this. Certainly the way you used to back up data 10 years ago is completely different the way that you might back up data today. There are many ways that you can go online to back up your data, but you may not want to do that if your data cap is so low that you might run over if you accidentally upload too much data. Don't get me going on ISPs and data caps right now. It's a completely different video. If you want to talk about anything that's going to hamper the growth of this industry, it's ISPs and their data caps. But let's say you want to have more control over what you have, backed up. Fine, then you may want to go for a more local option. But you also want to keep in mind that backing it up to the same computer isn't secure, because someone may walk away with that computer. The computer might explode. It's better, in many cases, to back up your data and then get it off-site entirely, whether you put it in a safe deposit box or just take it somewhere else that, in case something happens to the original location, you wouldn't have to worry about losing that data forever, so long as someone could get access to it. So, we've outlined a lot of the options that you might go through, and really talking about horror stories of backups gone awry. I mean, have you guys ever backed up something only to not be able to restore it? It's a bit of a challenge. You thought you did everything right, and suddenly it's not working. I can only imagine. I've been lucky not to run into that kind of nightmare story. But what are your data backup nightmare stories that you would have to share with the community? I bet you, and they got to make them real. I mean, I hope no one's going to make up a story. I mean, because we could all do that. But I think we've all experienced this problem with data backups and certainly potentially restoring the data, after it's accidentally been destroyed. In fact, as I go through this, I just wanted to remind you that we have a 50% discount for Nomis for data recovery software for either Mac OS X or Windows. And that's available on nomis.com. That was a special that I was not exactly, it's a discounted download for data recovery software, not for a full-on destruction, but let's say you accidentally deleted photos, you needed to recover them. You could use the software that we had linked to potentially do that. But any other data nightmare, or I should say data recovery or backup nightmare stories to share? Let us know. Leave a comment in the article we linked in the description, or possibly here on YouTube.